The Great Bounce. Is Alphabet facing a digital rebellion? The Great
Bounce, or how your inbox became a toll booth.
April 30th, 2026. Pirate first for MXTM's newsletter. There's a quiet violence happening in the pipes. No explosions. No headlines screaming loud enough. Just silence. Emails that never arrive. Messages that dissolve mid-flight. Entire conversations evaporating like humidity over the Yucatan stone. You send. They never receive. Welcome to the Great Bounce. 1. The moment the signal broke. Once upon a time, an email address was a promise. Type it. Send it. It lands. That promise is dead. What you witnessed, half your context bouncing back, is not a glitch. It's not bad luck. It's not user error. It's systemic decay. At the center of it sits Google, specifically its golden passport system, Gmail. When storage fills, Gmail doesn't degrade gracefully. It doesn't queue. It doesn't warn the network. It severs the line. Not limited. Not delayed. Gone. That's not infrastructure. That's a trapdoor. 2. The Digital Landlord Era. The myth was free forever. The reality is rent. 15 gigabytes wasn't generosity, it was bait. A long con measured in decades. Photos, contracts, drafts, memories, identity. All parked inside a system you don't own. Now the tone has changed. Pay, or your inbox becomes a brick wall. Pay, or your data enters a countdown. Pay, or your voice stops reaching people. This isn't monetization. It's leverage. And the shift didn't happen because they're broke. It happened because they realized they don't need to be kind anymore. 3. Gemini eats first. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. The storage squeeze is not just about subscriptions. It's about fuel. Enter Gemini, Google's AI engine, hungry for compute, for infrastructure, for energy, for dominance. Every byte you store competes with every token they generate. And guess which one scales revenue faster? Not your archive PDFs. Not your old newsletters. Not your 2014 vacation photos. AI wins. Storage becomes overhead. Users become weight. So the system tightens, not because it must, but because it can. 4. The Velvet Prison. You tried to leave. You went to Proton Mail, clean, private, sovereign. And suddenly, your emails smell like spam. Not because they are. Because they're unreadable to the surveillance machine. Gmail doesn't trust what it can't scan. So it quietly buries it. This is the loop. Stay pay. Leave disappear. Return comply. Alongside Gmail, the fallback giants, Outlook and Yahoo Mail, aren't alternatives so much as parallel cages. Different colors. Same gravity. 5. The collapse of the commons. Email was never supposed to belong to anyone. It was a protocol, a shared language, a commons. Now, it behaves like a private app. If half your contacts can't receive messages, the system isn't less reliable. It's broken. This is the real scandal. Not privacy. Not pricing. Reliability. A communication network that cannot guarantee delivery is not infrastructure. It's theater. 6. The digital exodus already in motion. The shift has begun, quiet, fragmented, but real. People are peeling away in two directions. Point 1. The refugees? They migrate between giants, chasing deliverability. A new inbox here, another there. A patchwork identity. Survival, not freedom. Point 2. The sovereigns. They step off the grid. Custom domains. Self-hosted servers. Local storage. Protocols like Nostr, where messages don't bounce because no one owns the gate. No landlord. No quota. No silent erasure. Just signal. 7. The heresy nobody wants to admit. Google doesn't need to fix this. Not yet. Their bet is simple. You won't leave. Your data is too heavy. Your habits too deep. Your network too entangled. They're betting frustration converts into subscription. That irritation becomes inertia. That you'll sigh and click. Upgrade. 8. But the balance is different. Here's where the gamble gets dangerous. Storage limits hurt individuals. Bounces hurt networks. The moment communication fails at scale, the illusion cracks. You don't just lose space. You lose trust. And once a communication system becomes, maybe it arrives, it's already obsolete. 9. Pirate signal. So what now? You don't wait for the system to regain its conscience. You assume it won't. You diversify your signal. Own your name, domain over platform. Split your channels. Never one inbox to rule them all. Archive locally. Cloud is a cache, not a vault. Test deliverability. Don't trust, verify. And most importantly, stop mistaking convenience for sovereignty. 10. Final transmission. The great bounce isn't a bug. It's a phase shift. The internet is shedding its free skin and revealing its true architecture. Controlled gates, metered access, invisible penalties. But every system that closes itself too tightly eventually suffocates. And in that pressure, new protocols breathe. The question isn't whether Google will reverse course. It's whether you'll still be there when they don't.
Pirate First isn't a rebel. He's an exit strategist.
Burn the will! Ship the protocol!
Sovereign by design.
Burn the will.
Ship the protocol.
April 30th,
2026.
Pirate First signals his intent. Do not archive.
Execute.
The old world runs on inheritance, not just of wealth,
But a permission.
Permission to exist, to create,
To be remembered correctly. Thanks for reading MXTM's newsletter. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work with BTC. Send it to 1NDHXMPFZJVMXSBPQBRWALUC5BAKNFU6 or with fiat at paypal.me/martinchartrand.
Structure layers are now operational across the Tulum Sustainable Development Zone. Despite minor data corruption regarding land narrative, the impact report remains positive.
En el centro de la trapa sueños.
The simulation data confirms critical interference levels across the territory. Narrative load is unstable.
Be advised,
paranoia is now a product. The risk assessment is maximum.
Atrapa sueños.
Remain sovereign amid the noise. As the interference level spikes, their simulation engagement increases.
We must decipher the reality of this update.
Pulso universal.
Attention. Signal integrity is failing.
we have 4% uptime before the broadcast load collapses. Decipher the transmission and act immediately.
4-2.
The one a post-decay transition doctrine. A post-scarcity secession doctrine.
Martin Chartrand. Subscribe. Short post. They built a system that profits when you're gone. So don't leave them anything to inherit. Build what can't be owned. Ship what can't be seized. Pirate first.
I mean,
Hashtag.
we all use the same tech infrastructure now.
Exactly. And we are just replacing the old cognitive hierarchy of human managers with a new, much less transparent hierarchy of algorithmic filtering. If a redundant worker is told, hey, your life's meaning will now be negotiated by a black box AI in the shadow of a billionaire's real estate project, they aren't going to see a metabolic center for future validation. They are going to see a gilded cage.
Hashtag pirate first, hashtag MXTM, hashtag sovereign stack, hashtag build in public, hashtag decentralization, hashtag exit the system, hashtag protocol not people, hashtag digital sovereignty, hashtag future of work, hashtag creator economy, hashtag cryptoculture, hashtag seasteading, hashtag AI revolution, hashtag post scarcity, hashtag on your keys, hashtag think different. Discussion about this episode. Comments. Res tax. Recent episodes. Hyperreality races to lose. Hyperreality is infrastructure. Marcado. Reclamado. Reperpuesto. Marked. Reclaimed. Repurposed. Primer, Super Earth, Age of the Apes A-Series by Pirate First. Super Earth Age of the Apes, Roster, Apex/Cenote set interrupted. Super Earth, Age of the Apes teaser. Introduction, the 1% plus debate.
They control the narrative now, hiding deep within the anomaly. But the story is the territory, and soon...
A hidden longevity civilization beneath the Grand Mayan aquifer seeds, a successor species engineered for extreme worlds.
Every system failed at night, so we built with bone and mind.
We chose not to return.
So we built. You can follow the flame or remain what you were. Just a different time. Only
We are
what
crossing the
will
threshold of
endure.
civilizational inversion, where intelligence has ceased to be a scarce resource, dissolving the hierarchy that has organized our species for millennia. The central argument posits that the information asymmetry, which once made obedience rational, has vanished. As the capacity for synthesis becomes universal and inexpensive, traditional institutions become hollow shells that can no longer claim authority through titles or credentials. This transformation brings more than mere technological unemployment. It signals the structural extinction of the professional role.
Proof of personhood, the high stakes of OpenAI's post-anonymous social network.
The human dividend, why your identity is the new global currency.
Conclusion at the end of the anonymous web. As we stand in late January 2026, OpenAI's humans-only network remains a tantalizing, yet polarizing, leaked blueprint.
Subscribe. Shadow fame spreads without permission.
X-Prize. Start building, man.
Marked. Reclaimed. Repurposed.